My name is Carl Henry. I was class in 1972. I ran the back then it was the 880. I was state record during that year. And one thing I can say about Coach Harry Jacobs, I really met him at Howard Academy. I'm a bumblebee, but some kind of way we got taken from that. I became a tiger. But anyway, going back to Howard Academy, I used to run the 880, and I always ran second behind this guy. And Coach Jacobs said that all you gotta do is keep running, son. And he was right. I just kept running. I mean, I encourage anybody that out there that think they're not going to make it, but just keep running, and you'll find yourself in a position that you'll be glad when it's all over.
This is Sylvester Peck down at the Harry Jacobs Invitational Track meet. I am sitting here with one of the Harry Jacobs champions, Mr. Carl Henry. And Mr. Henry, I know we were just sitting back reflecting on track, and you said that we talk about the starts that you got at Howard Academy, and you were talking about some of the athletes that you ran with at Howard Academy. Who would you say was some of the fastest guys that you ran with at Howard, and what was it like?
Well, I like I said, I didn't run the sprint races. I ran the half mile. I was running behind a guy named James Crumley. James Crumley was pretty fast in the 880. And but I do remember a lot of those guys over at Howard.
First call, boys and girls.
One of them was Willie Adams. We call him Punchy. One was Lester Graham. They all ran that 100-yard dash, and them guys were fast. And another guy that I know, but I can't think of his name right now. But he used to quarterback over there for Howard. Well, it'll come to me. Some of them names them left me, but they'll come back sooner or later. But Jake was there. Coach Jacob was there. I remember him. I remember when Jake came to Howard Academy. And one thing about him, he was serious at what he did. He enjoyed coaching and stuff like that. So when I first went out, I was just. I mean, I think they gave you I don't think we even got a T-shirt. I think we had to come get a pair of pants or something like that. And I think I don't even believe you had a number on it, or nothing like that. Just plain simple. And then when I came over to Jefferson, we got like something like a warm up. But we thought that was something, you know. They would pull that man that had tigers across the chest of it, and I just love to think about them old days back when we was over at Howard Academy, and then them boys came over. I remember like guys like Bobby Hill, different ones that ran that 100. And once we got over to Jefferson, now them guys they were also excellent in football, but Jake always took them boys from the football field to the track field, and we just enjoyed those days. We just glad that we had the opportunity to be a part of it. So I'm thankful for that every day. I thank God that I was able to live as long as I've been living, and be able to have a conversation about that time.
Can you tell us something about what you know about Nathaniel Harris and Johnny Seabrooks as track athletes?
I barely remember them guys, but I mean in that sport. But I remember more in football. But then I remember them coming, you know, right, like I said, we lined that field out there. I remember. But most of the meets was up in the evening time. And I lived out in the country. I missed a lot of that back in the days. If you didn't get on that big yellow school bus, you know, you was just left uptown. Then you was in a world of trouble when that happened. But then somebody might have picking you up, carrying the distance, or taking you back on the road. But Earl, I remember Earl was a good athlete. guy was a tall, lanky guy, you know. Yeah, but Nathaniel was kind of short, but he had them moves, man. He could just juke and person and all. And I remember, I can't remember when, trying to remember who was coaching back then. Could have been Johnny Williams.
Johnny Williams, left in 66. I think Jacobs may come in 67.
What'd you say now?
Johnny Williams, I think he left Howard in 66 and went to Family High.
Okay.
And Coach Jacobs came in the following year.
Okay, right. That seemed about right. I think he was pretty young. Coach Jacob was about somewhere in his early 20s. I remember, but we always try to relate to him like being one of us, you know. But one thing about him, he had strict discipline. You know, he laughed with you, and you did something wrong, you thought that he was gonna let you get off. But he said, no, I'm gonna have to get that. I think, okay, Lord, oh Lord. But anyway, it was all good. You know, he was very strict and he disciplined you in a way that kept you in line. You know, those that were willing to listen to him. There was some that didn't care one way or the other. You know, but they ended up in pretty bad situation. Some of them dropped out of school. But Coach Jacob was a good guy that believed in trying to get things done on the football field and that track field. But then he was also thought he was good in basketball. And I found out how quick he was when I had to guard him out there when the faculty played the seniors. You remember that?
Yep.
You remember that? That day when we had to play the seniors. So I had to check him, and boy, he had some kind of move, and he was fast. He was real fast. I don't know what he ran. I never did ask him what he did, whether he participated in track and where he participated in. But I know he was pretty quick.
Just to share just a little bit of history of how fast he was. We know the name Bob Hayes because he was a half step faster than Harry Jacobs.
Wow. Yeah, Bob Hayes came out of Jacksonville.
Right. So they all ran together growing up. He was from Wildwood, but he moved to, I think he went to finish his high school, maybe in Jacksonville somewhere there. But they ran against each other.
I never knew that.
Yes.
I was just happy to receive that type of information.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Half step difference, and we'll be talking about Harry Jacobs, the world's fastest man.
I mean, because if you talking about Bob Hayes, I can't compare him to anybody. But you telling me now that Jake was one step behind.
Half a step. Half a step.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, we were just discussing, we were just talking about segregation back in the days when the guys, they wanted to, we had a good football team over at Howard Academy, but they integrated them that year. I was a junior. The class was 1972, but then the class in 1971, they had a great football team over at Howard Academy. Guys such as Eddie Mills and Bobby Hill, guys like Rudolph Neal, Willard Bonhart. Some of them guys were good. Then they quarterback. So we went over there. They wanted to keep everything just like they had it when they was at Howard Academy. But then when you got over there, them folks they didn't want that. They said that they had a guy named Sid White, I believe. He was quarterbacking for the Tigers at that time, and they wanted Sid the quarterback, so they protested and said that we wanted if we don't get Greg as a quarterback, we won't play. And you know them guys set out the whole senior year. Yeah, and made a statement You talking about guys who were pro material that probably could have went on, but then they I thought that was a great thing that they did.
And the next year, Greg became quarterback. Was that next year Greg became quarterback?
Well, Greg's daddy was a principal at Howard. So what they did, quite natural, you the son, your dad is the principal. Greg went back, and then he went back to the team, I believe he did. I don't know whether he was the only one, but I know he was one that went back and played. But whether he got in the PT time, I don't know for sure.
Okay. I'll have to check that part out too.
Everywhere you go, the one missing piece.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Okay.
That's why I do what I do now.
I think we wanted did Greg go back.
Yeah.
You made him go back.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I got a great grandboy running out here. I just got the text a few minutes ago that they were having it. And I just,
Okay.
okay.
So, Mr. Pittman, we were talking about that time, and so we're still working on that series. Remember when I did it, part of the video shoot back during the summer?
Yeah.
Well, I still got that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Henry has done a great job as far as telling the story, and so I'm trying to capture that part of history. And so your story is a fantastic story by itself. Believe it or not, I have your photo when you were at Florida A&M University along with several others.
Yeah.
Black and white photo, yes, sir. You had one of them pretty boy photos.
Huh?
I said you had one of those you got one of those pretty boy photos.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So now your time as principal at Howard Academy, and I guess I'm going to focus that time because we were talking about football and track, and we're talking about Greg's experience with football in that transition period. And I know that you were an administrator at that particular time. Would you like to share some insights on that story?
Well, at Howard Academy, during that time, we had a little game, and Gregory asked me, said, "Daddy, what about a football game for the smaller children?" So we played that game out there. I had a new coach. He was from South Carolina. He was coach there, and he came to coach there, and we played that ball on the field. This is the citizens and the coaches, and I noticed that ball was going on target, on schedule, as Greg was playing down in the middle school. And when the game was over, I said, "Coach, who's this fella throwing that ball?" He said, "That's Gregory Pittman." And from there, he started on out and moved on up into the high school here. And they made a difference in a lot of things. One time they had some problem. All the boys walked off. And I had a chance to talk to the fella. They came back. Coach Coker was the coach at that time. And so I traveled everywhere he went for support with his other coaches and parents. They were able to unite together and become championships. And well, they played Chipley, and they beat Chipley by 1 point. But it was 4th down and 1 yard to go. So Gregory stepped back in the pocket and threw a touchdown pass. He threw that touchdown pass to beat Chipley by 1 point. And then they had another game. I don't know what that game was, but they beat them by 1 point. Then they went on to the state championship down in Florida, and they won that. So he made friends down there at the school. And that's a part of the story there. The quarterback, yeah, he pulled them together, and they went to Santa Fe, and they played Santa Fe. Santa Fe is all white. Well, they tried to intimidate them, call them everything, but them boys stuck together, and they won. We won just about everything they played there. We went to Gardner High School one time. Gardner High was undefeated. So Gregory, they gave Gregory the ball. The time he got the ball, he made a touchdown. They called it back. Same play. He made a touchdown, beat them 48-0. Yeah, and that was just one part of it. They went to Christian River, and everywhere I went, they just went. I don't know of any place that they didn't go there and win. And back to back, they won the state championship. He was the quarterback. He was able to get a scholarship to go to Florida State University, and he went as a quarterback. He was on the full coaches. On full coaches. Last year under Coach Bowden, and they changed him for the quarterback on either FSU to a running back. So somewhere in the senior year he got hurt in the play, you see, so that he also ran track. And he ran track right out here on this field. He pulled a ligament. And that ligament, I saw him when he went down. He went on, had to go to a surgeon in Thomasville, Georgia. And that surgeon did the surgery on the leg. The surgeon said he didn't think he could play no more, but he went on to victory in playing football. We went to Hamilton County one time, and we followed him. And my wife said, "You gonna take your uniform?" And he was just going just to sit it out. But we were trailing halftime. At halftime, he put his suit on, went out there, and made a difference. And Bishop Cousin was a doctor. He said, "Who is that running back right there? Run that ball so well." And it was Gregory Pittman. So that's just a part of the history. I can go on write a 6 book catalog on that kind of stuff.
Being after Mr. Simpson.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now you wasn't no loud man. You spoke what you meant. You said what you meant.
Didn't mean what I said. Either I go or they go. Well, you had to have tough skin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
you had teachers. You had 65 teachers and over 1,000 students on the one room row. So you know that's big business.
So we wanted to find out what was happening when Coach Jacobs came in. You say he came
Well,
in.
yeah, I hired Coach him, and Coach Jacobs told me, "Just give me a chance." I never will forget that. Well, that moved on. He was winning games. We had banquets from time to time. We sent for the coaches at A&M. We even had Coach Gates come down to speak, but we couldn't ever get a scholarship going. So, well, I told Coach Jacobs, let's change up. Let's get somebody else, see what we can do. We had the vice president's son at A&M at that time. He was on the staff, and he left there, and he went to Albany. Let me see that right. Was Albany? Yeah, he went to Albany State there, as head football coach there. Okay, well, I had contact because his sister was a good friend of mine, and that's how I got the communication going. And we got one scholarship, and you know the boy. What's his name?
Johnny Earl Seabrook.
Yeah, Earl Seabrook.
Mm-hmm.
Earl Seabrook scored the first touchdown when he got up there, and he made history. And from then on, well, at that time, you know, they wouldn't get country boys like this. They didn't have no coaches. Gregory had a scholarship to Colorado State University, but he wanted to be around in this area. So he chose FSU. But we didn't have none of them coaches come down to view. I think, what's that coach name? He retired. What's his name was? But he came down once, but did nobody offer a scholarship. Rudy Hubbard, that's what he was. Yeah.
So the relationship between Howard Academy and FAMU wasn't good.
Say that again?
The relationship between FAMU
Yeah.
and Howard Academy wasn't getting on the boys.
Well, they were everywhere throughout the state of Florida. They get them big town boys. They little school like Madison and all that. We had good players, but you know they went for them big town boys. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. Or Bob, that group, they held it together, and we had a good team. They had good coaches, and I admire them coaches now. I got the film right now. What I plan to do, redo these films. My son-in-law got them up there now. He's going to put these on the market for people to view, and he's going to put them in the archive. We won't put it down here because somebody might borrow them and you won't see them no more. I was going to get Coach Belansky to deal with it, but my son-in-law said, well, let me handle it. So he got them up there now. But every game he played in, we got it.
That's games at Jefferson or games at Howard? That games at Jefferson or Howard or both?
Run that by me again.
The Howard Academy games and Jefferson County games or just?
Yeah. The film.
The film, yes.
Yeah, that's what we got those.
Yeah, I would like to get those converted too. I don't charge anything for them. I just try to get them out on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that people could see them because they're
that's right.
For me, they're historical documents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Back then, the lens thing on the cameras wasn't detailed.
Now, Dr. Sledge, the local dentist here, he retired. He's a World War II veteran. I'm a World War II veteran. And we always talk, Greg, he used to film made all these films, climb that post up there. He used to talk about it. Now we have fun. Yeah.
How was that over there now?
Well, it was 1958, I believe I'm right. It was 58. I moved over there as an assistant principal of Howard Academy.
I checked his location.
You moved from where?
Well, I was in the adult school.
Oh.
Yeah, I was principal of adult. I came here in 1950, set up the adult education program. And lots of them fellows went to the military, dropped out of school. Those fellows, lots of them finished high school, not division. Some went on to do extremely well. And they remember me from yesteryear. They were hard-working fellows, dedicated, respectful, and I didn't have no trouble. That used to be the post office.
Oh, okay.
You would go there and get the mail in the afternoon. Hold that. The white principal told me to tell my teacher don't park it there. I ain't told them today.
Well, some things you don't say.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's some things just don't say.
Right.
Yeah. Because, we already were fiery on the Eastern problem, Sarah and all that stuff.
Right.
And before they pay the white and black teachers same salary, they'll send that part for us be lower than the black.
Correct.
See, that's a controversial issue. You don't do it. But then the bishop got there. He changed that, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was I do a lot of writing on that period of time, and when you look back, and I guess a good researcher will look at things in terms of facts and whatever. But you can see that if you hadn't stood if you didn't stand in the way, the country itself would be greater. It would be.
Well, you know, when they moved to Howard, I moved from Howard. They integrated the FHSAA Class. They took on that. In 1926, Dr. Sargent was the founder of the New Farmers of America. That was all black. That went down all the way across Florida until integration took place.
What's up, man?
The government program.
Yeah. And we had the best program, education program.
Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington.
Yeah.
All right.